Hey guys, what is up? It is me, Connor, and I'm here today to talk to you guys about the Ghost Recon Open Beta and what I pretty much thought about it. So to begin with, just a little bit of an overview. I thought it was pretty good. I really liked it. It pretty much really surprised me in terms of gameplay. I didn't think it was going to be as good as I thought, especially with seeing things from E3. It just was a real letdown in terms of pretty much graphically, gameplay-wise, everything about it. I just wasn't too excited as I was when the first release came out about it, which I think was in 2015 at the E3. But the stealth aspect of the game was really fun. I'll get way into detail about everything else. But let's just start off with the gameplay about it. The guns were pretty fun to use, you know. There's a huge variety of guns within the game, and there'll be way more in the actual full version. So it'll be really exciting to see all the different types of guns you can use in the game. But I mean, just from the beta alone, you can get tons, double digits worth of guns, and it's awesome. Everyone usually accepts just the LMGs, and I think there's a few snipers that don't have the suppressor, but every gun basically has a suppressor on it, so it's pretty cool. So you can use any gun with stealth, and I thought that was pretty awesome. There's a couple different difficulties for the game, which I thought was cool. For the whole beta, I played on regular, with the exception, I did play on the hardest difficulty, which I'm pretty sure was called Ghost difficulty, and that eliminated your HUD and made enemies' response time way heightened, way increased. It was crazy, the response time of the AI on the hardest difficulty. It also had it so that they had a lot more health, so if you did not get the headshot for the instant kill basically, then took a lot more bullets to kill somebody in the torso or lower body, etc. All that kind of jazz. But the difficulty settings definitely do take a toll on the gameplay and how you play it, but it's much better to play with friends, especially on that difficulty. But the solo mode, I did play on that at first, and they brought back Sync Shot, which is pretty nice. A little shout out to Future Soldier. They had Sync Shot in it, and that was really fun to use. And they brought it back for this, so you have to unlock it as you progress through the campaign. So you get skills that you can use, and you can get more Sync Shots because you only start off with one at first, but you can grow that. And speaking of skill trees, they do have the skill tree like I just mentioned, so you can upgrade things like getting grenades, upgrading your drone, upgrading how much ammo you get, your stamina, etc., etc. There's a huge amount of different things you can do for your skill tree. A lot of different options you can take. Also, the drone, like I just mentioned, it's definitely not as bad as I thought. Actually, more as good as I thought it was going to be. I thought it was just going to be like a huge overpowered piece of the game, just way too out of balance in terms of being able to spot enemies and stuff. But the battery does not last long if you do not upgrade that part in the skill tree, which I did. So the battery is a huge setback for it, which I thought was good because you don't want to get it too, I guess overpowered. That's not really the word I'm looking for, but you don't want people to rely on it too much during the game because the distance of it is also very limited as well, so you cannot go that far with it. But then again, it's not like you can only go a couple feet, so I mean, it's a really good balance, and I'm really happy with what they did with that. But it's a really good tool just to kind of survey the area before you actually go way into it and get yourself in a huge mess. So I like that a lot. Same with the binoculars. Having the binoculars around is a very good spotting tool. It's an alternative to the drone, so you don't have to use that instead. So I thought they did a really good job with the terms of overview before you actually go into your scenario, your situation, etc. A couple things I did not like were the graphics, honestly. I mean, you've seen videos online on YouTube, I'm sure, but Ubisoft is notorious for downgrading graphics from what they show in trailers, previous different gameplays, things like that. I mean, I don't know what they do to it, but I just was not impressed, honestly. I thought games like Assassin's Creed Syndicate and even The Division had either equal or better graphics. Even Sniper Elite 4, I mean, I could go on with comparisons, but maybe, and I'm hoping the full game will have better graphics, but I just was not that impressed with it. However, the scenery, when you're flying around a helicopter, driving around the jungle, things like that, I was very impressed with the scenery. I mean, seeing it from a distance in a helicopter, sometimes there's rendering issues, which again, this is just a beta. Even though the game is out in a couple weeks, there's not much to change, but I'm still giving them the benefit of a doubt, and just hoping they'll change a couple things in terms of graphics. But the scenery was really awesome to look at, especially transferring from the first area to the second, since now we got a second area in the open beta. The different transition you get from going from a jungle to basically a barren wasteland, it's really awesome to see that sort of contrast, and it gets me really excited to see all the other zones and areas you can go through in the full game, because the map is just absolutely massive. I mean, for an open world game, especially on console, that is insane. The map size is totally bonkers. I mean, I can't think of a better word than that. Another complaint I did have was just in the second area, There's a few times where helicopters from the enemies were just a huge setback. There would be one, and then next thing you know, there's two as you're trying to take out the first one. The third one comes in, it just turns into a giant chaotic clusterfuck, honestly. The amount of helicopters is just insane here and there. I'm sure that's just from my friends and myself just being a little bit too loud, even with the suppressors. Shooting at helicopters does alert a lot of attention and gets people on the ground listening, so there's a mixture of that, but sometimes it's just very, very too much. But the game does seem a little repetitive, though. I mean, what can you ask for? Games like Far Cry, Assassin's Creed, those are all kind of repetitive. I mean, the one thing that makes this game stand out from that repetitive stance, I believe, is just the tacticality of it. I mean, there's so many different ways you can go about doing missions and infiltrating buildings, things like that. I mean, the opportunities are endless. It's awesome that they added so many different ways to do things, and that's what I think sets it apart from other games in terms of that way, especially because a lot of your objectives are very open, so you can access it from helicopter, you can just go on from the ground. I mean, you can have an Overwatch position from a sniper. I mean, it's great. The amount of possibilities you can use, it's very awesome. I'm glad they incorporated that sort of option to do that. It's really awesome. But another good thing from it is that since the scale of the world is so massive, helicopters are a very abundant source that you can use for transportation, and you definitely need that huge asset for traversing the world. I mean, just the first zone, I believe it was, from point to point was about 5 kilometers alone. That's just the first area, and the actual full map has about 10, 12 areas, I believe. So I'm guessing about the length of the whole map. Maybe it'll be about like 25, 30 kilometers. That's insane. I mean, you need a helicopter for that kind of stuff, especially going from point to point. The helicopter is a huge benefit, and I mean, walking around and driving around is fun and all, but the helicopter, I mean, you can't match that. So I really enjoyed the fact that the helicopters weren't rare, I should say, because that would be a huge setback for the player. I mean, especially for gameplay in general, it just wouldn't be, I guess, as enjoyable, really. But I mean, the game is super fun. I definitely enjoyed participating in the open beta. I mean, I hope everybody got their hands on it, because I think it's a game that you really need to play to really understand how you feel about it. Because some gameplay does look a little bit off, I should say. I mean, for me, it was one of those games I had to get my hands on to actually feel and play, because I did not really care for the gameplay just to watch. But I mean, it definitely blew my expectations away. Having friends is a huge asset to you, because having that coordination with your actual real people is hugely beneficial to you. The AI is pretty dumb and it doesn't act as well, so having real players is a huge benefit, good asset to have, and I highly recommend getting 3 friends together playing this game. I mean, even 2, having a 3-man squad isn't that bad, honestly. So I mean, it's a freaking fun-ass game, and I can't wait for the actual game to come out. But I mean, that's just my 2 cents on it. I enjoyed the game. I mean, there's something I did not like, but hey, no game's perfect. So that's all I really had to say about the beta. I mean, definitely gives it a thumbs up. Can't wait for the full game. But that's all I gotta say today. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys later.